Hey, why don't you subscribe? Friendship is magic, right? Be a friend and subscribe, 'cause it's magical. Yeah, that's right. Magical. Well, that just made me all tingly. Now, I think I'm going to just sit here and enjoy it. Well, here we are, the two-part finale of Season 2, A Canterlot Wedding. I just love this. No, I'm being serious. I have only seen 2 seasons, but this is perhaps my favorite episode so far. This begins with Twilight Sparkle receiving a message from Princess Celestia, and if you can't already guess from the title I just mentioned earlier, this is an invitation to a wedding. But who's getting married? Princess Mia More Credenza? Whoever that is, and
my brother?
Yeah! He's getting married. Hold on. Who the heck is... Oh, Shining Armor! Of course! Yeah! These 2 crazy ponies. Who are they again? Well, as it turns out that these 2 are from Twilight's past from when she was still lived in Canterlot. Shining Armor being dubbed her official...
He's my BBBFF. Big brother, best friend forever?
Interesting. That being said, it is time for celebration, right? All of the main 6 are excited to attend the participation of the royal wedding? All, except one. Twilight is in fact upset that her big brother did not inform her himself. Instead, she had to learn this information through Princess Celestia. Now, I want to understand. Learning this information from the co-ruler of an entire kingdom isn't upsetting how? If anything, isn't this kind of an upgrade? Anyway, once there, Twilight Sparkle finds out why her brother has been so occupied as of late. A threat has been made to Canterlot, and as captain of the Royal Guard, it is his responsibility to make sure the city remains protected. How does he do this? He conjures up a magic protective bubble that only he can produce, which seems to have a draining effect on his person. Now, I'm sure you all are thinking, isn't it weird having a royal wedding considering the threat that has been made? Well, you will be correct in assuming that, random viewer of this episode, and the weirdness begins once the future blessing bride comes into the picture. As it turns out, Princess Mia More Credenza, or Cadance for short, used to be Twilight's foal sitter, and they were actually quite close.
Sunshine, sunshine, lady likes to wake. Clap your hooves and do a little shake.
So that's 2 friends she has had before Ponyville.
I used to wonder what friendship could be.
Just saying. As it turns out, Twilight begins to grow concerned when Cadance rejects Twilight's greeting. But to be fair, if you look at this...
Right, dear?
Absolutely.
I would be a bit suspicious myself. From there, we pretty much get a Twilight Zone episode. Pun may or not be intended, depending. Where Twilight notices weird things about Cadance, but no one else believes her because they don't witness these acts for themselves. This escalates so much that during the practice ceremony, Twilight accuses Cadance of being evil. You can imagine this doesn't go over well, but that's what happens when you try to be helpful. Well, seeing her mistake, Twilight tries to apologize, but Cadance is having none of it, and as a result, she melts Twilight through the floor. And that is just part 1. I suspect you are awesome, if you stick around for the next part, suspiciously. No, wait. Damn it! Now we get to the meat of the finale. Part 2 reveals that Twilight did not melt, but instead was transported to a cave system beneath Canterlot. As it turns out, Twilight was right all along, and now her and the recently revealed true Princess Cadance has to stop the wedding, leading to... perhaps the best song in the series so far. No joke, I just can't get this out of my head. I love this song to death. Look, this is really bad. I've had some close calls before, but if the show continues to produce things like this, I might actually become. Twilight and the real Princess Cadance crashes the wedding and reveal to all that the fake is something called a changeling. With this reveal, Princess Celestia takes it upon herself to attack the changeling queen. However, this was all for naught, for a changeling power comes from love, and as posing as Cadance, the changeling queen was able to absorb the love that Shiny Armor had for Cadance, and it was just enough power to take down Princess Celestia. So the princess, doing what she does best, calls upon the rest of the main six to get the elements. And what do? They go through the changelings, get the elements, blast the queen, and save the day, right? Wrong! Right again, Lex Luthor, owner of LexCorp and arch nemesis of Superman. The heroes don't save the day, but in a twist of fate, the love that Shiny Armor and Cadance have for one another does the job. You know, the concept behind being fooled by the power of love almost always acts as a catalyst to fuel the hero to overcome any challenges. This time, though, love physically manifests itself and smacks the changelings out of the kingdom. And that is just freaking awesome. And thus, the true wedding commences, and everything is back to normal. In closing, I want to point out two things. One, the changeling queen could have won this if she just hadn't sent Twilight to the caves. She's basically already broken her. She even got an apology. If she just have kept her cool just a bit longer, Canterlot would have been an all-you-can-snack buffet for her people. Two, I also want to point out that despite their behavior and appearances, the changelings are not villains in this episode. They don't do what they do to be evil. That's just a bonus. They do it because they have to. The queen even states it here.
And as queen of the changelings, it is up to me to find food for my subjects.
Interestingly enough, this actually justifies something. Why she threw away the apple trees. Maybe it was just bitter and tasteless to her. So the changelings are in fact anti-villains. There are those of you who might think, oh, they could have gone about it another way, maybe a more positive way. But perhaps they already tried that and failed. I mean, look at them. And it has been well documented that ponies can be in fact xenophobic. So the changelings must resort to these methods. After all,
For who could ever learn to love a being?